people feel like time is running out. What brought about this discussion was, as the new year began, January 1st, you see everyone in a frenzy. Everyone wants to, run to the gym, sign up for gym membership. You see people trying to, get more financially fit, different things, right? But then I thought about, what about the people who feel, hopeless? What about those people who feel as if, time is not, on their side anymore? They feel like they have made multiple mistakes. They have failed in the past, or quite frankly, you've done everything right and it's just not working. You may feel like time is running out, right? You see the obscurity, you see the trials and the tribulations. But what we're saying to you is that there is hope on that other side of these thoughts that you have. It is good. It is essential that you number your days. It's good that you consider time to be of essence, because it is. What you should not do is become anxious to the point where not only are you feeling as if time is running out, but now it causes you to actually either lock up, freeze up, or not do those things that in your heart you are called to do. Right? In your heart that this is something God has called you to do. Feel a stir in your spirit that I'm called to launch that podcast. I'm called to go forward and preach the gospel. I'm called to open that business. I'm called to write that book. But you're so stuck in the fact that, the past hangups and trauma has caused you to be in this place of, what if it doesn't work this time? What if, this is the new year, and while everyone is excited and people are, excitedly going after things and their dreams and their goals, you perhaps are sitting in a place where you're saying to yourself, I don't know if I can do this, because no one in my family's done it before. I want to talk to us about the power of the mind. Book of Proverbs 23, it talks about how, verse 7, it says, as a man thinketh, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. And it says, eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. I'm so excited that today's topic is coming on the day where we celebrate globally love. The matter of the heart. The heart. Your heart is saying one thing. Your mind is saying something else. You're speaking something else. You're saying something else. You're saying to yourself, yes, I want to write that book. Yes, I'm going to podcast. Yes, I'm going to launch that business. Yes, I'm going to go back to school. Yes, I'm going to lose that weight. I'm going to do this, that. But your heart is thinking a different thing. Your heart is not there because your heart is troubled. Your heart is thinking time is out. But God says, no, I make all things new in my time, in due time. He makes all things new. He makes all things beautiful in time. That was the first podcast, our episode 1 on Outside the Four Walls podcast. And go check it out. It's on Spotify. It's on SoundCloud. How do you overcome this? Number 1, you got to stop thinking negatively and stop thinking that you're out of time. I was at the library the other day. In a showcase, there was these beautiful wooden carvings. Beautiful. And I was like, wow, I was so intrigued. I was so captivated by this carvings. And I started to read about the creator. He was a veteran. This man is now almost 100. He's like 90 something years old, and he lives in my hometown. So my local library was showcasing his carvings, and I couldn't help but think to myself, my goodness, these are beautiful pieces. And I thought to myself, I said, where did he get time to do this while he was, working for the Navy or working in the military, the U.S. military, and out, protecting the country and doing all these things? When did he have time? And his biography went on to say he didn't start carving until he was 65. So yes, it is good to number our days. It is not good to be anxious. It's not good to fear. What causes us to stop in our tracks and say, I feel like I'm out of time. I feel like I failed in the past. I feel like, things are just not working, so I'm not willing to try again. It is fear. You have to conquer that fear. You have to tell yourself, no, I am not going to be afraid. I have a sound mind. I'm not going to be afraid. My mind is for loving, and I have the power to do anything I put my mind to. Just like I have the power to come on here and put aside, maybe the fear of rejection or who's going to watch and who's not going to watch. But guess what? Someone needs this word. So I'm going to go forth and I'm going to do it. I may try to, I could have come up with multiple excuses and said to myself, well, today is Valentine's Day and you're in a confectionery business. You're in the middle of production and you have deliveries today. But no, I am committed to get this word out. So are you going to be committed to do that thing which deep down in your heart? You're called to do it. Called to the nation. Write that book. You're called to do that business. You're called to start that family. You're called to lose that weight. You're called to get fit financially and emotionally and physically and your health and whatever it is that your goals and your dreams, your aspirations are. You are called to do. Deep down in your heart, this is what you want to do. But you have allowed fear to grip you. You've said to yourself, and these are different categories. There are people who say, time, I no longer have time. Can you imagine this man at 65? He began carving. This is something he probably already had in him, something he was doing when he was young. But guess what? While he was in the military, he may have not had time to do it. But when he retired, he made time for it. Make time for those things that you want to do. Make time to achieve those goals and that dream of yours. And I'm excited because not only are we going to talk to you today at Outside the Four Walls with the Ajitas, we are going to bring to you a workshop to help you realize those dreams. So if you stay plugged in with our ministry, if you stay plugged in with this, we are going to help you. So let's talk about, the title was Makeover or Jailbreak. Many people are imprisoned in their minds. The worst type of prison is not even a physical prison. It is you and I who are walking around thinking we're free, but we're really bound. We think we're free, but our minds are bound. You hear the word, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. It truly is. I say it all the time. Great authors, poets, businessmen and women, actors, real estate moguls, are buried in the grave where it never got realized. Never got realized. All because at some point they were trapped in their own thoughts. They were trapped in those limiting belief systems that kept telling them, you cannot do this. You cannot move forward. I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. If I can do it, you can do it too. Yes, you can. You could break forth. You have to recognize, what are those voices speaking to you? What are those voices that you keep hearing that are telling you you're not good enough? And maybe it's from childhood trauma. Maybe it's from the past. You're not good enough. You're not beautiful enough. You have this and you have that. Guess what? There are many things that could limit us. The opinion of others is one of them. As a man thinks, so is he. You're so focused on the opinion of other people. You're so focused on the thoughts of others, and you won't move forward in what God has said concerning you. You're waiting for approvals. You're waiting for them to say, yes, you're good enough. But why do you have that burning desire in you in the first place? It's because you're already good enough. The creator of this universe, the creator of you and I, has already destined you for that thing that you know is burning in your heart. So today, I want us to renew our minds. I want us to do a makeover of our minds. This is a life, so we may not be able to go so far deep. But I want us to start to think and start undoing some of those limiting mindsets. What are those voices that are stopping you from going forward? What are those things telling you can't do it? Maybe it was a father or a mother or a cousin or a brother or a sister or a classmate or even a loved one or a lover or a boyfriend, a husband, an ex or whoever. Even yourself, telling yourself you're not good enough. I'm here to tell you are good enough. You know what's funny? People who don't even have half the qualifications as you, people who don't even, don't even have the right skill set are doing the things that you want to do. But because of fear, you are paralyzed. Because of fear, you've stopped. And some of us, it's not even fear. It's also, over perfectionism, the paralysis analysis phase where you overanalyze and analyze until you're paralyzed and you don't do nothing. You don't move. You don't do any of it. You got to start changing. When you hear yourself saying, I can't, change it to I can. Start writing the vision down. Start moving. Start doing the things you need to do one step at a time, little steps. Take the little steps. Make that phone call today. Find out if you qualify. And if you don't, what do I need to qualify and start working on it? But fear most times grips us and we don't even make that first attempt. So I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to encourage you to do that thing which you know deep down inside, it's in you. I'm so encouraged. You know, when you think about the man who founded KFC, I believe he was also older. He had gone through setback after setback after setback. Today, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, is a big known brand. Never too late. So you may be listening to me today and you're thinking, well, it's too late. Stop letting people put you in a box and label you. You know, are you a stay-at-home mom? I'm not a stay-at-home mom. Do not let people put you in a box. A lot of times that is one of the things that causes us to stop. It causes us to freeze. It causes us not to move forward because, you know, you think, well, people only know me in this space. Well, guess what? If you know deep down in your heart that you are meant for this, then you need to move forward in that thing. They may not know you for that, and it's okay. You know, someone said to me the other day, I don't see you in that. Guess what? I'm not going to listen to that negative feedback because I see myself in that. Whatever I was discussing with this person and I was saying, oh, and I do this and I do that. And they said, oh, well, I just don't see you in that. Guess what? I read something on social media the other day and it really tickled me. It says that people who aren't doing are usually the most people who will criticize you who are doing. So don't you think most people who are telling you, oh, I don't see you doing that. Why, you know, and it's like many of us have bought these lies to the point now where guess what? You've allowed people to talk you out of what you were destined for. I'm sorry. I will not subscribe to that. Whether it's a friend, a family member, you have to get those people out of your head. Whatever it's going to cost. My 12-year-old yesterday was joking about something. She said, I'm protecting my peace. Yes, you need to protect your peace. If you know that you're surrounded by people who are, you know, constantly tearing you down, constantly not uplifting you, constantly not telling you, yes, you can, you need to remove those people out of your life. You can love them from far. Because you need to surround yourself with positive thinking, positive thoughts, positive feedback. There's room for feedback. Yes, people can tell you, you know what? I think you could do better next time. I welcome feedback. I love it because then that person really is vested in your progress. We allow, and I think what are the external factors that limit us? It's people at people's mouths. It's people telling you, you can't do something. Many of you are even waiting on certain mentors, your so-called mentors that you put in your head to approve you, to qualify you. But the person who created you has already qualified you. He said, I knew you before you were even formed in your mother's womb. But here you are waiting. So now there's a two sides to this time thing. Time is of the essence. So I want you to get up and get going. But don't be anxious of time. But at the same time, however, be cognitive of time, but don't be anxious of it. Don't let it rule you to the point where you're saying, well, you know what? I'm 65, you know, another one bites the dust. No, the devil's a liar. Another one does not bite the dust. You need to move in what God has called you to do. You can still do it. I gave the example of the man who started sculpting at 65. He's 95. He's 90 plus years now. And he's being celebrated. Not just for his being a veteran, but for also his sculpture. His sculptures. Come on. So many people will tell you they failed and failed and failed until they made it. But many times we're so stuck in our minds and saying to ourselves, I can't do this. You know, I failed before. So, you know, Vanessa, it's just not going to work this time. Yes, it will. You got to try again. Maybe tweak some things. Do it better. Get a coach. I'm available. I also run, you know, a coaching business as well outside of this ministry. So I say all this to say to you. I say all this to say to you that you're not out of time. You're not out of time. You're not out of time. You can certainly get back up. You can certainly get back up. There's still time to get back up. There's still time to make those moves. We are only in February. But look at it this way. So no, don't be anxious of time, but number your days. Don't let the naysayers stop you from doing that thing which you know in your heart you are meant to do. Don't let fear get in the way. You're going to study, what failed before, lessons learned, and go back and tweak things and make it better. This is another year. This is a brand new year. You can do it. Fail forward. Fail fast. Fail fast and move on. Fail fast and move on. This is the word that has been on my heart for you for this new year. No, time is not gone. It's not lost forever. You can, as long as you have breath in you, it's time to move forward. It's time to pick up that baton and run your race. Join us, connect with us right here on YouTube, but we're also on social media. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We have a page there. And we also have our podcast on Spotify and also on SoundCloud. Thank you once again for joining me at Outside the Four Walls with the Ajitwas.